this is the second part of the time series pandas video. I would recommend please visit the first video. I have given the link in the description area to get all those connecting things. So in this previous video I have already explained the basic functionality analysis, and in this video I am going to cover the seasonality, resampling, shifting and the windows. Now let me take one important concept of the time series, and that is called the seasonality. Seasonality is the process. It will show how the price, what is the interval of the price for the particular columns. So we use the box plot. Box plot is the very good way to see the seasonality. Now you can see month wise January month, and you know this box plot has the 5 information: q1, q2, q3, iqr, that is difference of the quarter 1, coordinate 1 and the coordinate 3, and we have the outlier also, means that is out of sight. So you can see in the November month price went to the 2000 rupees, but the normal price, average price was the 750, but it went to the 2000. So in this way we can see the complete seasonality information for that. Now if I want to see the all the, not only the high information, if I want to see high, low, close, how it moves, what is the seasonality, so you can see the complete graph. So it will give the clear cut picture how the date price was going up and down, right? Now let me show one other important concept in the time series, and that is called the resampling. What is the meaning of the resampling? Resampling, suppose you have the data on the each minute or each day, but I want to, each day is the high frequency, I want to reduce the frequency, I want to the month wise, or I want to use the quarter wise to visualize the data. So that is called the sampling. So let me take one example. So suppose I have the high data. Okay, let me show just high data, and you can see the graph, how the graph is coming, but I be resampling this data at the interval of 30 days. So what I will do, I will accumulate the 30 days and take the mean. Instead of the every day, I will take the 30 days data. Now you can see the same graph, we can see in the more visibility way, because I did the resampling on the month wise, and you can do on the quarter wise also. So I can say I want to do for the 90 days. So now you can see we can get the very good visual here. So depends upon your requirement what you want to do. If you want to do the, no, I want the 180 days, means half yearly I want to see. So how, you can see how the your share price was moving every half yearly, right? And let me do one more thing here. So what I'm doing here, I'm doing the resampling on the week basis. Okay, here I use the D for the day, and here W for the week, for all the three things, right? And making the mean just for the three. So what it is doing, you can see the data, I take the week wise, right? So that's why it is showing the 5th, then 12th, then 19th, means this is a week data. Now interval is reduced. This is called a down sampling, right? I have mentioned somewhere here, I have mentioned what is the down sampling. So earlier it was the everyday, now I down sampling the weekday. So this is the average of the all the three prices. Now on the same way I want to generate the graph for the good visualize. Now you can see how the price is moving with the daily wise and the sampling wise, right? So you can see this is one represent the 7, one dot the orange color representing the 7 blue color, you can see here, right? So in this way we can compare how the data moving and thing. The same, if you see, we use the resampling here, right? This method we have used resample here. We have one more method that is called the frequency. Set the frequency, edge frequency. So what is the difference between the edge frequency and the resampling? Resampling, usually you give the data, I need the 5 days resampling, 10 days resampling. But edge frequency, we give the specific interval, like the month, week, or the year. So we have different frequency we can use, and these are the frequency you can use for the resampling. So now if you see, if you want to use the day wise, put the day, b wise, by week, week wise, m month, q quarter, you can use that, right? So let me show some other frequency data. So we showed this data is the month wise. Now I'm showing the quarter wise. If you see the quarter wise, how this data looks, every time uh, uh, I'm taking the high, but you can take any column, right? Suppose I want to close, so you change the column and find out these things. Similar concept, we have the shift. Shift is that the I want to analyze my data after 2 days. Okay, so not from the starting day, after 5 days I want to analyze the data. So let me show an example. And we have the shift and t-shift. I become that. So suppose I have one time series data. Every day from 1st January to the 5th January, I have this data, 4 column, right? Now I want to shift this data by the 2 day. Now you can see what I did. This the data frame, and the shift I use the 2 days. See the output. Now date, we had the data from 1st January. Now the first 2 data become the null, and the data is coming from the third. So if you see, the 1, 10, 11, 12 was the 1st January data. Now this 1, 10, 11, 12 become the 3rd January data, right? So it is shifting by 2, and we lost these 2 data, right? So now the 51 here, 51 here. This is called the shifting, right? Now I am showing what is the t-shift. T-shift means you are shifting the index. So if you see, this is the index shifting. So we had the data from 1st January. Now it's shifting into the 3rd January, right? So 3rd January data. So this time we lost the 2 days data, but now this time didn't lose the data, but the time index is increasing. First we had the from 1st January to the 5th January. Now we have the 3rd January to the 7th January, right? And if you want to see those shifting in my actual Amazon price, what I will do, I have this data, right? We already discussed from 1st January to 10th January of the high column, what is the series of data. Now this data, let me do the shifting by 2, how it looks. So what I did, I call the shift. Now you can see this 2 shifting is here. What about the 1190 for the 2nd January? It become the 119 for the 4th January, right? And if you want to see the graph, first let me show the graph for the without shifting and the with shifting. So this graph is without shifting from 1st to 10th January, high graph. We have already seen that. Now we can see the same graph with the shifting, how it looks different. So if you see the shifting, so now see, earlier data was from 2nd January, now it is the 4th January. This way we can do see the shifting. Now let me do the shift by the date, the index. We use the t shift. Be careful, I use the shift. Here we have the t shift. Now if you see the t shift, now the date is moved from the 4th, right? It was date from the 4th, now date is moved from this date was so now the date was from the 2nd, now date is from the 4th, right? This is the benefit of the index shifting, that we use this. Now one very important concept is the windows, drawing windows. So what is that? So now if you want to, the difference between that, the okay, let me first take one example, then I will discuss what is this drawing. So is that, suppose for the time series data, we have this data, okay? Now the drawing window is, say, if you give the 3 days data, so then it will depend upon the mean or static aggregate method, mean, median, sum. They will sum all these 3 data and it will keep it here, and it will move the windows concept. Let me do the same thing what I am saying to you. First take the sample graph. This is the very simple graph. I am not doing anything, I am just showing the graph. It is a normal graph what we have been discussing. Now use the our drawing window. So what I am doing here, I am saying, hey, my data set pandas, take the 4 days data, sum it and roll it up. So now if you see, they take the first 3 days data, make it on the 4, and it is add. So if you see how this 4840 came, if you add this 4 data, if you add this 4, it is equivalent to the this 4840, because I have taken the sum. How this data come? 4903. So 4903 sum of this 4. Okay, and how next data is coming? Next data is coming this 4, right? If you see the highlighted things, this is the how the windows work here, right? Now if you take the graph or plot for the rolling windows, so how it looks now. Okay, so we because 3 days we didn't take, and then starting from here we take it. By default, if you see, by default is indexing on the date. By default rolling happen on the index, or index is date here. So that's why all the rolling happening on the date, right? So if you see, this is the date and it is happening. Now if I want to rolling happen one particular column, so how we can use that? Then you have to use the on clause. So if you see, I did the rolling 3 and I add on which column I want to roll, right? So now if you see, it's happening on the date high. So high data didn't change, right? High is the same. But if you see earlier, high was changed according to the rolling concept. But here high didn't change, and remaining other part has been changed. So as per your logic, what you want to do, and this was all about the time series data using the Python. And I say thank you very much. Please subscribe this video, and we are coming more of many more videos on the data science. And please don't forget to subscribe this channel. Okay, uh, thank you.